Hello! The recent Pipelines Technology and Security Conference was the occasion for the NNPC to share its best practices and ingenuities in pipelines and infrastructure funding and management, and also open the discourse for quicker, better, cheaper, and more effective ways of doing things, which is expected from a peculiar gathering of this nature. The NNPC's efforts are exemplified in the AKK gas project funding, which is also on the lineup. Plus, they do not feature on oil and gas matters quite often, but when they do, it's golden. Royalty played host to management top body, and a major takeaway is Dr. Barrow's royal accolade. GPAD is looking to get smarter, brighter, sharper, boost capacity, and shaping up. We'll show you the faces of those who attended the learning and knowledge sharing session. Thanks for joining us. I am Akin Agbejule. This is Oil and Gas Forum.
We say the NNPC touches your life in many positive ways, and it is real. I must also congratulate you because I heard you brought back the national quiz competition. All these were set up with deep thinking.
Welcome to the highlights. Contractor financing of pipeline projects. NNPC explained why that was resorted to, with some related details. Funding arrangements on AKK gas project close to conclusion. Emir of Kano lauds Dr. Barrow on oil industry reforms. GPAD developing capacity for optimum performance. Only the details can reveal what these and other stories are all about. We'll be back.
No panic to buy fuel for black market. NNPC go bring fuel for all motorists.
NNPC say them get fuel jabrata for ground. Saboteur. All of una wey dey tiff with fuel and petroleum station where they hot smuggle and divert our fuel go neighboring country. Plus people where they build small tank and sell fuel past our government price of 145 naira per litre. Stop am o. Because why? Now big offense now. Now jail straight away. NNPC say our government no increase fuel price. Now still 145 naira per litre. So therefore no buy black market, no do panic buying. Enough fuel there we go round. Nigerians, if you see any petrol station where they sell fuel past our government price of 145 naira per litre, kia report to the nearest security agency when near you or the Department of Petroleum Resources. Na Ndu Ohamado, Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division NNPC, sign this message.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation and NPC Group Managing Director Dr. Mekanti Barrow has challenged members of the Pipelines Professionals Association of Nigeria plan and other stakeholders to proffer solutions that could lead to a dramatic change and expansion of pipeline business in Nigeria. Delivering the keynote speech at the Nigerian International Pipeline Technology and Security Conference in Abuja, the NNPC GMD said such solution must be able to resolve the challenge which has hindered the growth and viability of pipeline venture in the country. Dr. Barrow, who was represented at the event by Dr. Babatunde Adeniro, Chief Operating Officer Ventures, explained that emphasis should not be on what has been done in the past, but to seek quicker, better, cheaper, and more effective ways of how things should be done to achieve the feat.
The emphasis is not to dwell on what has been done in the past, but to seek quicker, better, cheaper, and more effective ways of how things should be done.
He also wondered if Nigeria had a financially capable environment that could provide funds at rates that would be competitive and low enough to produce adequate returns. He averred that the answer to these posers would enable NPC restructure and develop policies that would encourage infrastructure development in the country.
The federal government is working to ensure that as much of the technology that we use in the oil and gas today is domiciled in Nigeria.
Earlier, in his welcome address, Engineer Jov Onoha, chairman of PLAN, expressed delight at the high level of support accorded the association by the NNPC management, assuring that the pipeline professionals would not only pick up the gauntlet and tackle the challenge posed to the group by the NNPC GMD, but would continue to work with other stakeholders to ensure the in-country viability of pipeline business.
Pipeline Association, we are here to try and improve everything that is happening with pipeline and make sure that it works for us, all of us in Nigeria.
Engineer Chidi Izua, the Acting Director General, Chief Executive Officer, Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, commended the NNPC management for embracing the contractor financing model in the AKK project, noting that such an option should be replicated wholesomely in respect of other mega industry projects.
NNPC is done very well around the country. I think we seem to forget, the kind of shortages we have with petroleum products. You have them very often now. You don't have them. Look at the funding that we have attracted for, AKK. Look at the almost investment decision that is being taken around the LNGs.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has consolidated on its operational performance with a trading surplus of 17.16 billion naira in the month of April 2018. NNPC Group General Manager Group Public Affairs Division Ndu Amadu, who disclosed this in a statement, said this was part of the highlight of the corporation's monthly financial and operations report for April 2018. The report, the 33rd edition since NNPC commenced the publication of its financial and operations report on a monthly basis as part of efforts to instill a culture of transparency and keep stakeholders and the general public informed of its activities, indicated a 5.43 billion naira improvement, representing 46.29% of the trading surplus recorded in the previous month of March 2018. According to the report released recently in Abuja, the trading surplus was achieved through a combined higher performance by the upstream, midstream and downstream sectors, as well as a reduction in corporate headquarters operational expenditure. On the gas production and supply front, the report indicated that the average daily production for April 2018 stood at 8,054.46 cubic feet, out of which an average of 835.27 million metric standard cubic feet, equivalent of 3,283 megawatts of electricity, was supplied to the power sector daily during the period under review. It further showed that in the period under review, a total of 1.61 billion liters of premium motor spirit was supplied by NNPC in furtherance of the zero fuel queue policy of the federal government. The NNPC said it recorded a 48.21% reduction in the rate of pipeline vandalism, which fell to 166 from 224 vandalized points in the previous month. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) said it was close to wrapping up funding arrangements on the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano AKK gas pipeline project. Group Managing Director of NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, who disclosed this while speaking at the Nigerian Day during the 30th edition of Gas Technology Conference in Barcelona, Spain, explained that tremendous progress was recorded towards securing funding for the project during the last visit of President Muhammadu Buhari to Beijing, China. Dr. Barrow, who was represented at the event by NNPC Chief Operating Officer Gas and Power, Engineer Saidu Mohammed, revealed that the corporation had gone far in negotiating the terms of funding as well as the best payback structure for the project, affirming that the financial partners were willing to collaborate with the corporation on the matter.
And once you have the nation covered with a gas grid, then the gas itself brings the market. You will see industries being started along the route of the gas pipelines, and that's what we are aiming at the long run.
The GMD described the coming of Train 7 of the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas (NLNG) as a big bang that will usher in new developments for Nigeria's energy sector and expand the nation's economy, adding that the project was also capable of unlocking new vistas for country's LNG potentials.
Other companies will follow in the name of the interest that we have in making sure that we diversify. There are so many sectors that we are looking at. Fertilizers are there, ammonia plants are there, and all what have you that are all gas-based industries.
In keeping faith with the 12 business focus areas of the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, 4 new rehabilitated tanks at the Lagos Satellite Depot, Ejigbo, are ready for recommissioning. A press release by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division of the NNPC, Ndu Amadu, said the rehabilitated tanks would increase the petroleum product reception capacity of the depot and ramp up supply to the various marketers of petroleum products. Quoting the depot manager, Mrs. Alexander Otapo, the release said the rehabilitated tanks have reached 80% completion, stressing that the rehabilitation of the depot has increased the truck-up capacity per day to 120. Mrs. Otapo added that 2 of the tanks that are used for diesel storage have been converted to petrol tanks, maintaining also that 8 of the 9 loading arms have also been refurbished for ease of traffic at the loading bay for the tankers.
Apart from loading arms, which is the more important anyway, from 9 went down to 4, now upgraded to 8. So that's excellent, in my own opinion, and I know.
The NNPC Satellite Depot manager disclosed that now the depot has the capacity to truck out 5 million liters of premium motor spirit PMS, otherwise known as petrol, daily, maintaining that when the newly rehabilitated tanks are restreamed, the daily petroleum products truck out would increase significantly. She commended Dr. Barrow for the foresight that underscored the rehabilitation exercise, revealing that the depot, which was originally designed to service Lagos and other western states, now bridges products across the country. The depot chief added that with the support of the current management, the depot was able to demolish some of the illegal structures on the depot's right-of-way, maintaining that the activities of the encroachers on the depot perimeter fence constituted a big threat to the NNPC infrastructure at Ejigbo. Speaking in a similar vein, IPMAN Secretary Lagos State, Prince Kunle Oyenuga, applauded the management of the NNPC for the rehabilitation exercise and assured NNPC of the readiness of IPMAN's unalloyed support at all times to ensure the seamless supply and distribution of petroleum products across the country before, during and after the Yuletide season.
At least we need about a million plus or 2 million liters to be lifted every day, because we don't want scarcity to come again. So we want everything to go on smoothly. We want everything to go on smoothly between now and the Ember months.
The Emir of Kano, Malam Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, has commended the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, for introducing policies that have brought sanity into the Nigerian petroleum industry. Speaking when members of the Nigerian Institute of Management NNPC chapter paid him a courtesy call during the Institute's 2018 Annual Management Conference in Kano, Emir Sanusi expressed satisfaction with the performance of the GMD since his assumption of office, saying he has engineered a positive transformation of the industry.
I urge you to continue to encourage your GM, support your GMD and management in the reforms that have been introduced in NNPC, given the importance and significance of NNPC to the Nigerian economy.
The national president who inaugurated the NNPC chapter of the Institute has this to say about the members.
It is a great pleasure to welcome a new baby into the family of the Nigerian Institute of Management Chartered, that is in the new chapter, that is the NNPC chapter Abuja.
On his part, the NNPC chapter chairman of the Institute, Alhaji Saidu Bello, expressed gratitude to the NNPC management and staff, while calling on the staff to avail themselves of the inauguration of the chapter and enlist into the Institute.
It is a management institute that tend to develop the skill of the NNPC staff and also groom them to a higher level so that they can meet up with the current organizational structure that the NNPC is undergoing.
The Group Public Affairs Division of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has organized a 2-day workshop to ensure capacity building. The workshop tagged New Techniques in Collaborative and Participatory Television Production, which held between 17 and 18 September 2018 in Kaduna, was also designed to appraise the dynamics shaping modern communication philosophies, structures, processes, and practices. Among the areas covered at the workshop were new media and the future of television, definition of television in the context of electronic media, uniting the digital divide, and reviewing the synergy between the electronic media and television production for a clean environment.
This seeks to enhance the capacity and skill of the staff to provide basic necessary information that will help policymakers, other stakeholders in terms of what they have been able to achieve.
Mrs. Ebika Onyema, Manager, Public Affairs Nigeria Pipelines and Storage Company, NPSC, led the team.
We've had the privilege of being lectured by professors in the industry who are very much grounded. It has made us understand the new trend in the industry, and we believe that with this training we'll do a better job when we get back to our stations.
Other participants at the workshop attested to the fact that it was timely, informative, and educative.
Our practice centers majorly on press, but today I can boldly say one or two things about visual and television production.
As I'm going back to my place of work, I'm going to look at my style, how I've been doing things in the past. It's just a departure from my traditional way of doing things.
The Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has announced dates for the final and grand finale of the 2018 National Science Quiz Competition. The dates are 8th and 9th October 2018 at the NNPC Amphitheatre in Abuja. At the South-South Zone, Elika Joseph Ehiagwina of Edo State scored 65 points. Ebute Samuel Adakole of Rivers State came second with 55 points, while Owewo Ogene Tejiri of Delta State came third with 50 points. In the Southwest Zone, the science quiz competition saw Ezeunala Ekene Franklin of Lagos State, Igban Emmanuel of Ogun State, and Owoseni Oreoluwa Olanlesi of Osun State tied with 55 points each. They are to represent the zone in the grand finale.
There's also a lot of work involved in it, like many weeks of practice.
The Southeast Zone saw the emergence of Okeke Tony Kabelan of Enugu State with 65 points, topping the other contestants from the zone. Imo State Okeke Ezinne Elizabeth came second with 55 points, and Uzondo Chigozirim Emmanuel of Abia State scored 45 points and came third. At the North Central Zone, the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, and Plateau State, represented by Okeke Favor and Ezimba Confidence, respectively scored 65 points out of 75 points to emerge first. Agada Vincent, who represented Benue State, came third. The three students will represent the North Central Zone at the grand finale in Abuja. In a similar development, Kaduna State emerged winner of the 2018 Northwest Zonal Contest of the 2018 NNPC National Quiz Competition held in the state. The representative of the state, Master Chijoke Mwobukwa, a student of Panaf School, Kaduna, won the contest with 50 points, beating other contestants from Kebbi and Sokoto State, who emerged second and third positions with 45 and 40 points respectively. At the Northeast Zonal Finals of the competition in Gombe, Bauchi State emerged winner with 50 points, while Gombe and Taraba jointly followed with 45 points apiece. NNPC Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Mr. Ndu Hamadu, who was represented at the occasion, said the quiz competition was a flagship of NNPC corporate social responsibility projects. He said he was proud of the success of the initiative, which has produced scores of individuals that are making meaningful contribution to the society.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation is well known for its interventions in many aspects of our daily lives, in the quest to touch lives in many positive ways.
Welcome to another interesting edition of the feedback segment of the program. I am Julia Auta. Crude oil is a form of liquid hydrocarbon extracted from rock formations and refined to petrol, kerosene, diesel, and other purposes. On this week's edition, we will be talking to the public to find out what they understand by crude oil.
Nigeria survived through crude oil. That's what I know about crude oil. Crude oil can be found in Niger Delta.
I don't know much about crude oil, but I've been hearing about crude oil, and where people get money. Nigeria get money from there, get their incomes and whatever. I see how people live their life.
That Nigeria produces crude oil, and by crude oil, Nigeria is one of the oil-producing nations of the world.
Since I've been born into this country, I've been hearing about crude oil. You will produce crude oil, you will have oil. But on my own, I've not gone contrary to their how they do it or how they refine it or how it come about. All I know is that I will have crude oil in the country. I've not seen it with my bare eyes. I've not seen it before.
Yes, it's found in Nigeria and the area like Port Harcourt, Cross River, which is Calabar State, and then we also find in Delta State. So these are the three states and Bayelsa.
Well, from crude oil, you can get asphalt, the one they use for road. You can get petrol, kerosene, diesel, and even most of this they use in producing tire.
Crude oil means different things to different people, and that's it on this segment. Please stay with us for the rest of the program. Hello, it's good to have you join us once again on this segment. I am Faith Ayuba. Did you know that the following countries have the world's largest reserves of crude oil, according to the United States Energy Information Administration as of 2016? Venezuela with 300 billion barrels. Saudi Arabia with 267 billion barrels. Canada, which is a non-OPEC country, with 171 billion barrels. Iran with 158 billion barrels. Iraq with 143 billion barrels. Kuwait with 102 billion barrels. United Arab Emirates with 98 billion barrels. Russia, which is also a non-OPEC country, with 80 billion barrels. Libya with 48 billion barrels, and Nigeria with 37 billion barrels. Now you know. Please stay tuned for the rest of the program.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Oil prices eased on Friday, slowing an upward surge that has pushed the market toward 4-year highs after US President Donald Trump called on OPEC to get prices down now. Brent crude oil was down 50 cents at $78.90 a barrel. US West Texas Intermediate WTI was down 9 cents at $71.03 a barrel after rising nearly 2% on Thursday. Global benchmark Brent has been trading just below $80 a barrel, near its highest in almost 4 years, on expectations that US sanctions against Iran, OPEC's third biggest producer, will reduce global supply. US sanctions were imposed by Trump in response to Iran's nuclear program. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and other producers, including Russia, meet today in Algeria to discuss how to allocate supply increases to offset the loss of Iranian barrels. The meeting is unlikely to agree to an official rise in crude output, although pressure is mounting to prevent a spike in prices. Trump weighed into the debate via Twitter, saying the OPEC monopoly must get prices down now. Still, Many traders and analysts expect Brent to move above $80 soon. And that's about the size of crude oil outlook on this edition of the program. My name is Solomon Yopave.
Well, for those out there, you can always make it on stage. You can always win. Just work hard, focus, and everything will come your way.
Well, that's been Oil and Gas this episode. We hope you found it very delightsome and informative. The new week started. Make it profitable. Bye now.